Good evening and welcome. Few people in the house already, 22 people in the house, and 5 thumbs up, and we haven't done a thing at the moment. Not a bloody thing. Anyway, while I'm talking to you tonight on here, we may be having a competition with some young scumbag called Ben Draper. There you go, Ben, if you're watching. Ben Draper. Ben Draper. Picture of a poodle. Ben Draper sent me a friend request. Lives in Leeds. Now, if Ben wants to come on here and debate with me, feel free, Ben. Feel free. But I'm going to read out your comments and let everybody else make their own assumption of what sort of person you are and why you're contacting me. Because I try and help everybody. And that's what I try and do. But unfortunately, in this world, we have some strange people. So, like I said, Ben Draper lives in Leeds. I have 2 10-month-old Sprocker Spaniels that are fully Gundog trained, but they sometimes won't listen to me. Is it okay to pick them up by the scruff and smack them on the bottom? So the question, what did I answer? I answered nothing. Because it's a strange thing to come through and ask me out the blue. Not, hi, my name's Ben. But it takes all sorts to communicate in this world. And then a day later, Christopher, I would really appreciate a reply. So I gave him a reply. And the reply was, if they are fully trained, why won't they listen to you? That's the bigger question. Because instantly, I had a feeling that this guy's trying to set me up. Right? Trying to set me up. So then he goes on. I don't know. I need help with them. Are you able to help me? Not at the moment. Sorry. Very busy. Okay, please message me when you have time. And I put a thumbs up. And I said to him, where do you live? Knowing that he lives in Leeds. I live in Leeds, but we'll drive over to you. That's good, isn't it? Anyway, I, unlike other people, like how you discipline dogs. Now, at this point, I'm thinking, do I carry on this conversation? Because this is getting boring now. And then the next message is, I can't wait for you to discipline my 2. At that point, Ben has left my life because we have a delete button. And that's the best thing about the internet. You don't realize how many people I have to deal with because I put my head above the parapet and I talk about discipline. And there's a fine example. So if Ben Draper wants to come on here tonight and tell us a little bit about his dogs, then feel free. But I've looked down your profile picture. You've got a poodle, a bloody poodle, right? No pictures of any gun dogs that I can see of. Just another fool. And that's what I have to put up with day in and day out because I put my head above the parapet. So that's a good start, isn't it? I just thought I'd let you know because it keeps going ping, ping, ping. And it gets to a point where I get a little bit fed up with it. But I'm too polite to say, okay, in just in case he's a little bit dim. And I'm not being rude, but some strange questions there. I don't know what you people think. Anyway, back to the happy house, shall we? Good evening, Simon Spruce. Good evening, Karen Evans, John Griffiths, Oliver Swift. You always get me on that one. Christopher, Rob, Denver Skinner. Good evening. Paul Crocker. Good evening. Christopher from Casey. Graham Allison. Matt Crew. Good evening, Matt. How are you? Simon Spruce. Andy Stead from sunny Jersey. It has been a better day today, hasn't it? Far better than yesterday. Did you have that wind? Did you have that wind? Not the dog. Remember the video of the dog? No. Wind, yeah, we had some high winds, trees down, all sorts. Dan somebody here called Dan MCN. Not the Tables Callers, good evening. Peter Taylor, good evening. Adrian Bromley, good evening. Michael McLaughlin from Ireland. What a tool. What a tool. Exactly. What a tool. We do get them, don't we? You know, you think people have better things in life to do, wouldn't you? You think people would have better things in life to do than try and get into a conversation and get you to say, "I'll discipline your dog." Do we like disciplining dogs? I like to discipline some people, but we can't do that anymore in this snowflake society, can we? Keep him at arm's length, Chris. Yeah, exactly. Perhaps he needs a bit of discipline. Exactly, Robert Jeffrey. That's the whole point. But I just thought I'd read it out because, in some ways, it's just so pathetic. It's funny, isn't it? It's stupid. Another prat out there. Yep, plenty of them. I just thought I'd use him for an excuse and if he wants to come on here and be rude, we'll ban him. But if he wants to come on here and debate dog training and learn something, then fine. At the end of the day, wasn't Patreon. I saw someone's comment up there about Patreon on Sunday. Wasn't it great? Wasn't it great that Drew come on there and he'd made so much effort to prepare himself for that and give you a bit of entertainment as well as education. And what a pleasure to be associating with people like him. And how he prepares those squirrel skins and he gives them away free of charge and he pays the postage. He asks nothing for it. And what nice compliments he made. And that's what I like about the Patreon site. I see other trainers going non-stop about the Patreon site. And I think that I understand why, because it's like a small family in Patreon that everybody's in there for the right reason. And we don't have to deal with the idiots on YouTube and Facebook and social media. Patreon is Patreon, and no one has ever been rude on Patreon. At the end of the day, you're entitled to your opinions. I'm not silence you for your opinions, but I would throw anybody off who was rude because we don't need them. But we've got a nice group of people who've all got the same interest. Now, the calendar soon. Can you just? I got it here. What we're doing, and it's for the first 10 people that make the commitment that they want to do it. I'm giving a free training seminar down here for 4 days. A free training seminar. Now you have to be a regular, and you can come down here and you can do it on October the 12th. That's a Monday until the Friday. So we're doing Monday, Tuesday, Wednesday, Thursday, the Friday, 12th to the 16th. And we're doing a training seminar down here, and it's free. You bring your tent. You sort out your own accommodation if you want luxury. There's a campsite just up the road. There's the backfield if you really want it. Travel lodge 10 mile down the road. But it's for the first 10 people who make commitment that they want to come, and it's for the people who support me. So the people who support me, I'd like to make it 15, but unfortunately, I want to concentrate on 10 people, and we want to bring them together. We want to have nice evenings of chatting dog training about dogs. We want to go through a number of things, a bit of competition. Sol will be coming down. He's coming down. Kevin's coming down from Leicester, and Kevin was booked in to pay me for those days, and we're not taking any money from Kevin. Kevin's coming down for free, and we're going to do some group training because of dogs of a reasonable standard that are together, and we're going to bring them in. And what I'm saying is that's because a thank you to you people, you genuine people have supported me. So if you want that, you contact me private, or don't need to say it on here. And at the end of the day, it's there if you want it. I'm actually giving because you've supported me. I totally understand if you've got, like you say, if your holidays have got no holidays left and that, and it is October, and some people say I'm not camping out. At the end of the day, if you bring a van and you want to sleep in the back of the van, we got toilet facilities, but it's rough camping, if you know what I mean. It's not glamping. Sue said she says she's not sharing with no one. She's a nice girl, but she's not sharing with anyone. So we may have position for one person to stay, but at the moment, really, it's sort out your own accommodation, but be here, you know. And that's what it's a proper serious training seminar that we're setting up. I'm sick and tired of hearing people charging £900 for training seminars for a 5 days training seminar, £900 for people. I'm sick of seeing puppies for sale for £2,000, £3,000. I just think it's absolutely ridiculous that the state of the dog training world is becoming so money orientated that it's just ridiculous. And we've all got to make a living. It's as simple as that. We've got to make a living. But I just think that we need to reach out and help each other. And it's for the betterment of the dogs and betterment of the relationship between you and your dog. And that's what's important to me. So that's what we're going to be doing. Honestly, I wanted to go to Chris Fraser's seminar, but I couldn't afford it. There you go, Karen. There you go. Not everybody can afford it, and it's nice that you're being honest about it. So there you go. I'm not going to go too much into other people's way of running their business at the moment. Thanks very much, because at the end of the day, I'm just watching with bewilderment at the moment of some of the things that people are up to. I see that Chad Mackin did a podcast with Mark Goldberg, and Mark Goldberg's involved with the Monks of New Skeet with Brother Christopher, and they just did a podcast, and they're now saying that they've come to this new way of using the e-collar, that you don't need to condition the dog with the e-collar and see the dog's working level. And at the end of the day, it's confusing for Joe Public out there. So confusing. If fellow dog trainers can't agree on methods of training, and everyone, you know, got some trainers going, anybody using e-collar can't train a dog. Anybody who uses strict food can't train a dog. It's just become such a backstabbing world out there, and it's always been backstabbing, but it's just get worse and worse and worse. And how can Joe Public understand anything regarding training of dogs? I put up on my Patreon site, not in public, because I keep saying to you, Patreon, we keep it there. And there was a video I put up, and I asked people's opinion about that video, and it was about American trainer. It didn't matter if the trainer was from Denmark, Sweden, or England or Ireland. And I asked your opinions before giving my opinion. And at the end of the day, I was amazed at the following that guy's got. And it's nothing but an advertising channel when you look at it. They're advertising gun slips, gun clothing, gun this, gun that, whistles, tweeters, callers. You know, it's just become a money orientated. It's become a money orientated situation where people are just wanting to use the media to make money. I know we've got to make a living. Hi, Chris. Harley's body language has changed over the last 2 weeks. He has more focus and his driver's gone up. I think he will be ready to go for the next step of his training in a couple of weeks. That's exactly what we've been waiting for. How about that then? Fantastic gesture, shows the measure of the man. Not too many out there would do that. At the end of the day, I've had some great support from people like Kevin, from Sol. Sol wanted to set up that little bit of training test and all that, and everyone have a laugh. And he said, is there any chance of us getting together, having a drink, having a social situation as well as a training situation? And I said, yeah, it would be nice. Might bring the girlfriend, but too much eye candy. Yeah, John, that's the problem. We need to concentrate on those dogs. You might have to leave her at home. She's too hot. She's too hot. Honestly, you might lose her to one of these old boys who's sweet talking, especially someone like Jules. He's the boy he is, I tell you. I love John's sense of humor. Typical northerner here, lad. I will say something for the American trainers. They all seem to show their training methods, both good and bad, and don't seem to be bothered of what others think. I think you're right there, Robert Jeffrey, and I would rather have somebody who says it the way they see it, and I think we can learn from everything. I wasn't putting any video up to be derogative about anybody in a nasty way. It was the fact that I actually said at the later on in the once I read some of the comments, I actually said the reason I put it up is because they were using live pigeons, and we know that people have used live pigeons for hundreds of years of training dogs. And at the end of the day, they were taping up the wings and using them for retrieving for the dogs. Now, some people in this country would go absolutely ballistic if there was videos of that sort of stuff around. And at the end of the day, they seem to be able to get away with so much more in America. I was just looking for people's reaction because it astonished me how many people was following and subscribed to that guy's channel. And that guy's channel had 167,000 subscribers. And if he was putting up one video, he was getting 50k views in a day on some of them videos. Look at this. Peter Taylor, listen to this. Chris, I would love to come to your training center, but I will only have been back from holiday on the 9th of October, and I'm busy with work. He's always on bloody holiday, that Peter Taylor, isn't he, everyone? He's on holiday every few months. He's somewhere else, isn't he, now? Look at him. Life of luxury. Honestly, how the other half live. Anyway, I don't know. I've not been really reading your questions, so do I have to go right to the top and start again, or...
Well,
there's a few questions. It's so much easier on Patreon when you put the questions into on Crowdcast, when you put the questions into the question box. Just rained all day here yesterday, says Denver Skinner. Hi, Chris. Went onto my spring. She sometimes stopped and started eating grass or plants. How can I get her to stop? Obviously, get some sniff under the dog. But it all depends on how old the dog is. It's just maybe a little bit bored. Perhaps she's done too much. Jabo, couldn't believe Dougie wouldn't go in the water up on the moors the other day, although I've never had him in water. Jay, that was a bit of a question without a question, wasn't it? I couldn't believe Dougie wouldn't go in the water up on the moors the other day, Chris, although I've never had him in the water. Well, perhaps that's what he needed, to go in the water and gain the fun of in the water. But he will be going out with my dogs, and I think my dogs will pull him into the water. I took Ryan's Labrador out, and oh god, he's not very good at traveling, and he's shit everywhere. It was freaking horrible, and I cleaned it up. It's just part and parcel of those daily jobs of a dog trainer. Sometimes it doesn't happen very often, but when it's diarrhea, when it's yellow stuff with diarrhea, it's not nice stuff. And I cleaned it up. Hope no one's having tea. And 10 minutes down the road, done it again. I thought, oh, for freak's sake, stop this. It was a nightmare, and it absolutely poured it down, and then it cleared up. And then when I got home, the freaking sun come out. I couldn't believe it. I travelled out onto the moor to train him for a lot longer than I did. But with the smell in the back of the car, lucky it was a mule, wasn't it? I mean, imagine that was in the car, I'd have been puking my ring up. Can you say that these days? Can you say ring? Can you talk about rings? Martin Lawrence, good evening. Lorraine, good evening. Good to see him listening to you whilst close contact with the sheep and having full control over him with just your voice and whistle, but the collar as a safety precaution. Exactly, Jay. And that's exactly why I think all dogs can go wrong. But what's the percentage now that he's going to go wrong? It may be 5% out of 95%. So 95% you're not going to go wrong because the verbal cue will break away. But you've got that as a safety factor if you need to. That doesn't mean he's trained 100%. It means that I want it 100% and I don't want the collar on him. But at the end of the day, that collar is a get out of jail card if he decides to go. Because as you can see, he has still got the interest in the sheep. Because the way I'm using the e-collar, I've seen dogs look at sheep, turn away, and literally leg it away from the sheep because they've been zapped very, very, very high. Now, I think that one session that he got hit in the woods at 47, 48, I think it was, on the e-collar for chasing the deer, he remembers that. So when you go in low now on that stim, he just breaks away and goes, leave that, and comes away. So that's exactly what we wanted to do with that collar. I've been taking him out without the collar, but I took him up on the moors on purpose with that wind, and I wanted to move him into the wind so he'd lift his head. And if he did pull onto a sheep and was gone, then I had the control if I needed it. So there is a fine tool. Mark Goldberg and Chad Mackin were talking about the e-collar and what a fantastic tool it is. I used to think Mark Goldberg was a dog trainer through and through. Mark Goldberg sells quality watches, expensive watches like Rolexes and all that. So if you put in Mark Goldberg, you'd see that he's actually a watch. If you put watch specialist Mark Goldberg, he sells Submariners and watches like this. And I didn't need to brag then, did I? I was a bit big-headed, wasn't it? And the wife bought me that anyway. So Omega, I like Omega. What do you need that watch for? What? You can look at the sun and tell the freaking time. You don't need a watch. Hey, modern technology. We've moved forward, and yet we've got to wind up. Yeah, you know I like winding people up. I think he's trying to set you up, Chris. So do I. That person. There we go. Ping pong again. Look. Yeah. The price of my dog that you showed on the live stream is actually dead. There you go, look. So he's listening to the live stream. That's nice. Well, perhaps he needs to stop being silly and go away. There you go. So I'll just, after tonight, we'll ban him. I just wanted to see if he was, I set him up there because I said it's easy. We just delete him, look. And then what happens? He had to start again because he's watched the live stream. So there you go. We'll just delete him completely. If he comes on here, just ban him. He's a fool. He's just looking for attention seeking. There you go. Never mind. I've been very lucky this week in the. Oh yeah, I've seen that. That wasn't very nice at all. Karen says I've been very unlucky this week with the crash. Lucky the dogs weren't in, but they crate. I used them. Didn't cope well with the bang. Take my advice, guys. Don't buy a crappy crate to transport your dogs. Exactly. It's so important, and that's why a lot of these modern dog crates now have a back escape place in case they get crunched in a crash, that you can get them out the back. Not a nice situation. And I see that someone turned a mule over as well on the shoot. Bloody hell. If you get dogs in the back and people in the back of that can be dangerous. You've got to be careful with these things. Peter Piper, great night on Sunday, very entertaining. I thought it was as well, Peter. Robert Jeffrey, Peter, when you ordered your vest, did you have to give any measurements? Here we go. Or are they adjustable? They're not adjustable, but you have to tell him your height, and then he makes the straps to that level. I'm thinking of asking Ray when he's up to it, feeling better. What a great guy he is, Jules. I'm very interested in listening to him. Top guy. Yep. And I knew, and that's why I was so frustrated a few weeks before that, trying to get on there and get him to go live with me, and then I pressed the button and he disappeared. We couldn't get back on, but he is such a bloke, caring bloke, and he's such a nice bloke. Everybody likes him and meets him. FFF, I can't come in October, gutted. Never mind Peter Piper, it's a bloody long way. No holidays left, says David Jones. There you go. Kieran said he would come from Wigan. That's the way. Be nice to see you. Paul Crocker, what a fantastic gesture, Chris. Well done. No problem at all. Bollocks, no holidays left, says Simon Spruce. Right up my street. Yeah, you'd be camping out the back, gutting rabbits and eating them over a campfire. It'll be unbelievable. And we can bring the love bus in. We can use that as a base in case you get lost in the night and you have to go out and pee over the tent pegs. And then you can walk into the horse box without seeing it with a freaking camouflage on it. Honestly, it's looking amazing. He fell off a freaking ladder today and broke 2 ribs, the artist. And he said he's going to finish it next week. I felt sorry for him. He did look like he'd winded himself. He said he went up the hospital and he broke 2 ribs and come off the ladder. I mean, if I'd come off the ladder, I'd have been dead with my weight, but I thought whippersnapper like him, youngster like that, he would have got up and just headbutted the ground and got on with it. But no, he didn't look in a very good way. But these artists, they can be temperamental. He's a brilliant artist. He's fantastic at his work. But with someone who's artistic, sometimes you have to put up with a little bit of that artistic nature. Got to give a bit of leeway. But a lovely chap, lovely, nice bloke. Dan, not fair. I'm over the pond. Laugh out loud. Sounds amazing. Hope all goes well. There you go, Dan. I'm sorry about that, mate, but it's one of them things. What a top man, legend, Chris. No problem. Stop saying that. Everyone's saying that. I tell you, Jules had me. He had me choking up with that blinking thing he wrote about me. I think it was lovely. Chris, was a nice gesture. Good, you, top man. Oh, stop it. Should be a great 4 days. Well done, Robert Jeffrey. Yeah, Anderson would like to come, but the travel to get to you is up the creek from here. Well, Andy, you could fly over from Newquay without the dogs, and you could join the boys for a laugh, couldn't you? Eh? It'd be like going to a Black Sabbath concert. Not the tables, Carlos. I wish I lived near you, Chris. There you go. Unlucky, mate. Promotes the cause to ban if too many disagree. Promotes the cause to ban if too many disagree. Perhaps we're talking about the pigeons, live pigeons. People use quail. People use and like I've got to say, and I didn't rubbish anybody for saying yank, but I have a lot of American friends. And some people would say Yanks is not rude. Some people would say it's derogative. You're entitled to your opinion as long as you're not overly rude. And I'm pretty sure that some of the guys didn't take it as being rude. I've been over to America training, and I've been over there watching their way of training. It's a different way of training. It's a different way of life. And I got on with so many people over there. It was lovely. But then when I came back and talked about the e-collar in a derogative way after watching people fry dogs at the amateur championships the day before on the ground that they were going to run the dogs, I just questioned is that training? Is that proving the best dog? So the dog that gets screwed down with an e-collar the day before, that it's screaming with the e-collar. And we're talking about 25 years ago, 20 odd years ago. We're not talking about now. Things have changed a little bit, perhaps. Their methods have got more towards our way of training in certain areas of Gundog training. But at the end of the day, I had a fantastic chat with Sol last night for about 2.5 hours on the phone. We regularly have a chat, and we were talking about the e-collar, and we were talking about the pointing dogs and the necessity of the e-collar, and we were talking about a number of things about the e-collar. It says your connection is unstable. Please wait while we try to connect you. So I don't know if you lost me. I don't know if you lost me. But at the end of the day, I'm not derogative about other people's training in a nasty way, unless they're rude about me. And I made it pause, but it's back now. Thanks, everyone. You've got to live and let live. And I think someone said on here, they're up front. They're more up front across the pond because they can afford to be, because no one's going to nobble them the same as they are in this country. It's the same as talking about the e-collar. There's plenty of trainers using the e-collar, but at the end of the day, they don't want to talk about it because they think income. I may lose income. I may lose grace. And people say you can't train dogs if you use an e-collar. I know A-panel judges, and I know people who have used collars and lent collars from A-panel judges. Now, if the Kennel Club are that upset, it's me. I was wondering. So we got a message. So just give us a second. Hello. So we have Ben ringing me now. So what I've done, I've put it onto there, and he doesn't want to talk to me. So that's exactly what these people are like. So that's what I've just pressed that on for. Why can't these people just get on with their lives and go away? Why do they need to block and delete? Exactly. That's what I'll do afterwards. But I wanted to read it out. Just a second. Hello? 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 Yeah, so he's just ringing and then ending the call. So Sue might have to take them out there soon and just put them out on the side for a minute, and I'll delete the idiot in a minute. Just put them on the table out there, Sue. That'll be him out of our lives. How about that? His mum's probably called Tina. Yeah, they got nothing better to do. Some people. Anyway, I'd love to come to your seminar with Hattie and Mike and working Cockaput. We'll stay in our caravan locally. Yeah, no problem at all, Lorraine. And it's literally, there's a caravan site just over the back here, and there's a number of caravan sites around here. Max Gibbons, I've lived here in the States for 10 years. Yank doesn't and shouldn't offend anyone. That's great, lovely. They call me a lot worse. Exactly, great, lovely Max. Because at the end of the day, there's a lot of people who follow me from America because they like my methods, and I watch everybody. And it's important to watch everybody and then come up with your own conclusion. If you like what they do, then that's one thing. But at the end of the day, it's important that we are a little bit sociable with each other in the dog training world, because I think we can debate, I think we can disagree, but we should be able to do it in a rational manner. And that video wasn't put up to rubbish them, in my opinion. I didn't put it up to ask people's opinion to rubbish them, but I was interested in your opinions. And your opinions is what we know. You can see them on Patreon, what people said. And I'm not going to repeat them all on here. But what I'm saying to you is it gave me an insight into what you were seeing about that visual package that they're offering. And I think sometimes it's a bit like is it reality TV, or are they setting it up to make it entertainment? A bit like remember the Osbournes? Remember that? It was just watchable TV because it was so crazy, wasn't it? With them little dogs all running around the house, and some of these programs we watch on television, this reality, they put up this entertainment stuff. It's just done for entertainment. It's not done for reality, is it? And I just wondered myself what people thought about using live game, and no one really said anything about that. They just whether they didn't like the first 5-10 minutes of it and just switched it off, because I think it was 30 minutes long or something like that. I seem to be waffling tonight for some reason. But that's why I put it up. And I don't want to put stuff up to just rubbish it on purpose, but I've just seen another dog trainer in the UK that's on my friends list who's just now saying that she's training with another dog trainer that was on my friends list that I don't want nothing to do with because of the cattiness and the backstabbing from behind closed doors that they do that I've seen. Would I contact them and tell them? No, I wouldn't. Why? Because that's their life. They've got to do what they want to do. They'll learn through their mistakes. But some people, what you see on the persona of their channel and what they're trying to sell aren't really the people they really are. Chris, do you find your podcast you listen to? You mean, where do I find the podcast to listen to? All over the place, because I'm linked with a lot of Gundog trainers, professionals as well as amateurs, and people that I follow. I get links to that. So if like the YouTube will throw me up some more trainers, and I see these trainers that I've not searched for them, and it brings them up. But if you go on podcasts and put in dog training or Gundog training, and I look at all sorts of dog training, because I'm looking for that better way to train. And what I'm saying is, sorry, I was reading some of the comments on there. That's the problem. It's like Peter Piper's just wrote something on there, and at the end of the day, if we get into that sort of scenario with these people, they just love it and it feeds them. And so we mustn't feed them like that, Peter, in my opinion. You're entitled to your opinion. You said it. I'm not taking it off. But trust me, the best thing we can do is just block. But I wanted to highlight what I have to deal with, because I talk about the subjects that other people won't talk about. Or I try and be diplomatic and talk about, I've led people to trainers that I think are good trainers, but they are now going in a different direction than they were going. And I don't agree with some of the things they're doing. At the end of the day, that doesn't mean I want to fall out with them, but that doesn't mean I'm not entitled to my opinion, and vice versa. Everybody's entitled to their opinion on here. We've got 60 people on here and 18 thumbs up, right? At the end of the day, some of these people are followed by thousands and thousands of people. But if you're just talking about the pet dog world, that's far bigger than the gun dog world. I want to stick to what I train, gun dogs. A friend of mine, I won't mention their name, contacted me last week and said, Chris, my sister, who lives in Plymouth, who's single with children, has gone out and bought a rescue dog from a charity, dog that's come from, I don't know, Bulgaria, Romania, or something like that, right? And they paid 350 quid for it, and it's been aggressive towards the kids straight away. It's changing the mindset of the dog's changing already, trying to take over. She said, don't ask why she's done it, but do you know anybody who trains not just positive only, uses your sort of method of balanced trainers that could help her? And I said, give her my number and let me speak to her. Now, I don't want to get involved in husky come cross freaking Alsatian or whatever it is, right? But I'm concerned about the children. I'm concerned about the children in the house with a dog that's come from a rescue centre. Now, the rescue centre should have that dog back, because they should not have released that dog if that dog wasn't right. It's as simple as that. But it's all to do with this. They're shipping dogs in from other countries, third world countries, more or less. And at the end of the day, they're trying to put these dogs into situations, and it's all to do with 350 quid they pay for a rescue dog to be rescued. And now they're going to look for, sorry, I was just reading some of this on here at the same time, and I can't do that because I'm dyslexic. So I'm trying to read that and I'm trying to talk at the same time. So what I'm saying is, she said, do you know anybody? So I said, yeah, contact Jamie Penrith, because her husband is a policeman. And at the end of the day, I knew that she likes the police, and I knew that she'd trust a policeman. So I put Jamie Penrith onto him, because Jamie Penrith is a dog trainer, not only an e-collar trainer, a dog trainer. And so I put some business Jamie Penrith's way. Would I have spoke to her? Would I have asked some questions and give some advice? Yes, I would. But do I really want to get involved into pet dogs? No, I don't. It's simple as that. So, there was no need for this guy, Ben, whatever his name is, to actually come on and cause trouble. It's just pathetic, really. And I don't want to cause him no grief. I just wanted to go away and leave me alone. But William George says, so it's so common. I hear this all the time. Romanian rescue dogs adopting out of unsafe dogs. Exactly. And if those dogs have been on the streets for 2.5 years, they've got different mindsets. And at the end of the day, a starving dog is a fighting dog, a dog that has to survive. Chris, dog walkers urged to be vigilant after scumbag hides fishing hooks in sausages and the fields for us. Exactly, Malcolm. That's exactly what they're horrible, isn't it? There's so many nasty people out there, isn't there? And that's the problem with society these days. There's so many do-gooders. So what Graham Allison says, as the pigeon, I just thought they do that in USA, where here we would have a snowflake panic. Exactly. We would have people phoning the RSPCA and making complaints if you were using pigeons and letting dogs retrieve live pigeons. As simple as that. And yet, gun dogs are bred with a soft mouth. When a bird is shot and it's just wing tipped, you send the dog for it, it'll come back with a bird, and you have to dispatch it if the bird's wounded. At the end of the day, and that's why we've got the dogs. But at the end of the day, we do know it happens. But if you start giving that on top of talking about discipline, talking about this, you're just going to get a hate gang out there that's attacking you. It's as simple as that. So when I say we can be honest, but we can perhaps only be 95% honest, because of that silly situation out there that people are just looking to jump on any bandwagon and attack someone for anything that they don't agree with. And so that's what I'm saying. I put it up because I wanted to see people's opinions. The nice thing about Patreon is this: we can put stuff up on there that the Joe public's not going to see unless you're paying to come in. Now, we may have a couple of spies come in and pay. There's nothing on there that's illegal. There's nothing that I'm doing on there that I would put myself in a situation. It's like years ago, if you wanted to use birds in a pen, you used to pull the feathers on the birds. Now it's classed as illegal. You can't pull the feathers on the bird. But the reason they used to pull the feathers on the bird, it takes longer for the feathers to grow back. It didn't kill the bird. It didn't hurt the bird. But it stopped the bird flying. It would just tumble in the pen when the dog flushed it, and you get your steadiness on the dog. Now, you can cut them with scissors, but you're not allowed to pull them. That's the new law. Now, at the end of the day, some people still pull them. Some people cut them with scissors. Some people wouldn't have a clue. But it's Big Brother watching. Exactly. That's it. And so I think we have to be a bit sensible with what we do. But I just think that there's not enough people in this country who stand up for the sport they love. At the end of the day, they clip the pheasants to stop them fighting on their noses when they put the little things on their noses to stop them fighting together, because birds will scrap. Birds are quite aggressive with each other. You know, all animals are quite aggressive with each other, but it's not a big, furry, wonderful world that everybody loves everybody. It's the strongest survive in many a situation, don't they? And that's the problem, isn't it, Chris? The old man's getting rid of the cab. It's finally had its time. Next time we'll be down in the car. What a shame. The old London cab's going, eh? What a shame, Bill. So can you take that out there? I've asked you, please. No, just take it out there and close the door. I'm not worried about it then. I'm not worried about it in the slightest. I just don't want. I've got to ban him there and then on the spot. So, good on you, Paul. It must have taken some commitment and time. Oh, I don't know what that means. Malcolm and Chris, dog walkers urged to, but I've done that one. I've seen quite a lot of rescue sites, and there are lots of dogs from abroad, and most sites you don't know what the problems are. Well, if you put in Gumtree and you put pet dogs for sale, at the moment you're going to see cockapoos for £3,000. You're going to see a mixture of dogs that these people are advertising on the internet, and the prices they're asking is absolutely ridiculous. Absolutely ridiculous. And that's what's happening with these forums that people can get on now on the internet and advertise things. People are asking ridiculous prices. And then what's that going to really do? If we think about it, what's it going to really do? It's going to up the insurance on your dogs, because if you say to the kennel club, I paid £3,000 for a dog, and that something happens to that dog, make his number public so we can all give him a ring. He's an absolute idiot. He's out there ringing away to himself at the moment. And the thing is, what we're going to do, David, I'm not going to ban him straight away. I'm going to find out a little bit about him and do a video on him and make him famous if he doesn't go home to his mum, because he's just being an absolute pillock. I knew straight away from the way he was stalking me that has anybody got a poodle I could smash through with my cocker? Yeah, this guy Ben's got a poodle. He's got a poodle you could smash through with a cocker, and you could open a contract with him for cockapoos. Cockapoos. It's ridiculous. It's absolutely ridiculous. I mean, there's sprockers, £2,000 for sprockers. It's ridiculous. No paperwork, and this is all down to the kennel club breeding. And I watched someone on there the other day, yesterday, and I looked on there, and it said 5-star kennel club rated. So they're 5-star. That means top of the range breeders. £3,000 for those smashed up face pug things that look like they can't breathe properly and they have all those problems. I just look at it in amazement. Yeah, I think you would just eat him. Exactly. Radio Suffolk did a piece on this today. They were saying they are expecting many dogs to be rehomed as people go back to work. It's a shame. It is a shame, but how can you justify paying £3,000 for a dog? I mean, at the end of the day, £3,000 for a dog. I mean, people got more money than sense. And someone said to me on a site that I mentioned this the other day. They said market forces sales. well, I'm sorry, but market forces idiots. But the problem is, the more get on the bandwagon, the more it hikes the prices. And that's just not acceptable in my eyes. And I think that's the sort of stuff we've got to talk about. But as soon as you talk about it, what it does, it doesn't make you a popular person if you're talking and opening and being honest about it, is it? Because these people have more money than sense. Jay, come on, let's ask you a question. Let's see if you're going to answer it. You don't have to, mate. How much did you pay for Dougie? How much did you pay for Dougie? Come on, because don't forget, he's a limited edition. He's definitely a limited edition.
825.
What a bargain. I tell you what, that's a bargain. You want to sell him? But you fell in love with him. You fell in love with him. He is such a funny natured dog. He is. He's got such a friendly nature in some ways. No, Denver, it's not sustainable. Market forces will decline, prices will fall. Yeah, they will fall. They will fall. And people are just trying to milk the situation because of the lockdown. And people, I want a fur baby to fall in love with so it can follow me around the house. I sold a dog box to a lady the other day who paid $4,000 for a miniature poodle and commented on how well behaved my dogs were in the kennel and told her I used discipline. She couldn't leave the drive any faster. Did she buy the dog box?
She's probably on Valium now.
Cheaper than any of the other sheepdogs. You got a sense of humor. Someone local to me just sold a little cockapoos, 18 grand tax free in her pocket. It's just ridiculous. It's gone ridiculous. When I mean, 25 years ago, if you wanted to buy a Gundog, you had to find a Gundog trainer if you wanted a decent Gundog, and he had the right connections with the right people. I mean, I've bought Labradors from top people in the country for 700 quid. The champion or champion to field trial winner, 700 quid. I mean, I'm not going back in like 500 years. I mean, I think Scotty was 600 quid, wasn't he, Sue? He was good breeding. We went to Scotland to get him because we wanted the breeding, but I paid for him 1,250, but just because he may not look it, I'll never get rid of him. He'll be with us until the last days. I'm sure I'll have a springer off you in a few years, Chris.
We will.
I mean, thanks for your honesty, Jay. Thanks for your honesty. And at the end of the day, if it's a pedigree dog and it's what you wanted and you've paid that sort of money, that's completely up to you. He's a rarity, isn't he? I mean, tell everybody how many they're supposed to be in the country.
That's it. He's paid for the rarity.
You've paid for the rarity. Where at the end of the day, these people mixing these dogs and asking silly money is ridiculous. Absolutely ridiculous. But thanks for your honesty, Jay. I really appreciate that. We can laugh, but he's a start too, right? I don't know what that means. Anyway, we've got 73 people in the house. That's not a bad turnout for tonight. I got to spring it off Chris and Jay. Sell you for.
Star, Graham says it's a star. Yeah, he's a star too. He is.
He is a star. He's a character. And you know what? This is important because we've been honest with you from the start. We've said this dog is struggling. We've got to get the best out of him. I've already explained that, I'm putting in a few months for free because I hate losing. I hate failure. And Jay's paid good money to do the best for the dog. And I kept saying to him, well, hang on, we'll do our best, but we can't rush him. He's very immature and he's been really good with it. But I've not lied to him in any way. I've showed him warts and all. I still may be wrong, but I think there's more to come with this dog. But without people like me, who's professional, showing you that some dogs struggle, for you guys out there who are struggling, or you girls out there, when I say guys, I mean guys and girls, really, because it's this sexist thing these days, isn't it? You say you guys, you're not mentioning girls. Well, guys, girls and boys to me. I'm not prejudiced. At the end of the day, some of you struggle with these dogs. Some of these dogs train so much better. Look how Darcy has turned around. That doesn't mean Darcy's going to be perfect, but she's a completely different bitch in 10 weeks. And yet Jay has given Dougie that chance. That's how much he cares for that dog. And that's wonderful. I honestly don't think he'll get any better, but having other dogs you can see take him out with now, because I think he'll get better again. I think personally, it's like that first time you go into a lap dancing bar. Sometimes it's a little bit too much, like Jesus Christ. But then once you've been there, you can't wait to get there again. Now, I've never been to a lap dancing bar, right? So what I'm saying is, that's what I think. And we'll see. We'll see. Because I think once we start dogging in and letting him chase and saying, go on, chase that pheasant, we will take the drive up. But first, I needed some control because of the way he was. And I needed to set some ground rules. And I needed to set some structure in that dog. We've all loved the journey of Jay. Well done. And that's what Paul says. It was nice for the lockdown for them people to see that dog struggling, but trying to get the best from him. And we've not broke him. We've not broke his character. We've not broke his spirit. We're tapping into it. But I'm realistic. I'm not saying we're going to get him there. I'm saying we're going to do our best. And that's Jay's got a young baby now to look after, so that'll keep him busy for a few months. He won't be pining for his doggy. Now, me and Sue were having a laugh on the way because we went out for dinner this afternoon, and on the way I said, I wonder if he's done it for the baby. So when the baby starts saying doggy, doggy, and then it sounds like doggy, because I still to this day keep saying doogie, doggy, Pluto. My missus was doing research on Doogie's breed on the way home last so he thought I'd be getting one too. No. Hey, you could get one, John, and you could sort of start training it and see if we can get it to do anything. Honestly, it's like sometimes you want to tap him on the head and say, is there anything in there? The lights are on, but there's no one at home, some people say. But at the end of the day, it's been a good learning curve for others to see, hasn't it? That not every dog will make the grade. Now, what's my percentage rate? I reckon it's 98% of the dogs that come in, I get to a good standard that I'm pleased about. So that's not bad. It'd be like the blind leading the blind if I got one. I'll tell you what, you stick to the cockers, you can get 7 of them in my mule and they don't shit themselves. It's the same scenario as someone said dogs don't hold emotion. Well, that beautiful Labrador that is coming out of himself in some ways, that is a nervous wreck in other ways, not because of me, because of the genetics or the way he's been trained in the past. Not blaming Ryan, because Ryan had the dog later on, I think at 2 years old or something like that. At the end of the day, what I'm saying is that dog's got a number of issues that we have to get over. We are getting over some of the issues, but at the end of the day, you have to build it up in stages. You can't just go straight in there and go, I'm going to stop that dog running in, bang. You got too many issues to be able to go straight in and do that. If he was not as emotionally charged as he is, it might be easier because you can go straight in there and start that behavior and that training. He's got a number of issues, and if he wants to drop his guts every time he gets in the back of my car, that's not fun for me. Now, I don't know how much traveling he's done. Ryan had a laugh about it, but he didn't say to me, yeah, he has got a tendency to shit in the back of the thing and gets a bit drooly. It may be he just doesn't like my transport or my style of driving. I might send him out with Sue in the Mini and see what happens. So take him around the block a few times and see if he shits himself. But it's repetition. He's got to get in the car. He's got to do it. He's got to learn that there's not a problem with that. And that's what you've got to do. I can't get nasty with him and go, you dirty sod, and pull him out the dog box and scold him for it. Guess what? He'd be frightened because it's the nature of the beast. And that's exactly Rally Sue. Yeah, in Rally Sue. I say, did you get to work and did he shit?
He'd be walking up the motorway.
So that's the whole point. So But someone said dogs don't hold emotion. Dogs do hold emotion. Some dogs are emotionally charged and get upset easy. You can shout at some dogs and that can upset them. Other dogs wouldn't give a damn. What age time of progress would you start to use a starting pistol? Earthbound pheasants. It all depends on the dog itself. But I would say about 7 months of age, roughly, I'd start to use a starting pistol. About 7 months of age, but always do it away from you. And if you've got a game bag, fire it into your game bag to begin with, or get someone else to fire it away from you. Seen her doing handbrake turns around Callington. Yeah, John, this is it. She's lost the badge on the front. She's been driving that freaking fast. She came back from BMW after a freaking service. Honestly, she didn't let me service her. Car I'm on about, you lot. Stop it. Anyway, she lost the badge on the front. I said, you've been driving too fast. I said, when did you lose it? She said, I don't know. Well, it doesn't fall off when it sits still, does it?
I still think BMW did it.
She still thinks BMW needed the badge. Yeah, but why would BMW need a mini badge?
Because when they jet washed it, it's come off.
Anyway, 55 minutes. 67 people in the house. 24 thumbs up. Thanks very much indeed. Thanks for tuning in. You've still got 5 minutes, so crack on. Ask a question. I'm just waffling tonight, aren't I?
Paul Crocker said, what
so they can charge you 200 quid for a new one. Exactly. I'll tell you what, they're not cheap. Yeah, I think she paid 70 quid for a brake, to have a brake fluid changed. 70 quid. They wanted 150 quid to do the air conditioning. We got it done for 60 quid. My missus bought a Bracco Italiano a few years back, and if you left him in the car, he used to shit on the back seat. Yeah, nice, isn't it, eh? Yeah. And there's nothing worse, is it? I mean, in your own car. I mean, like I said, I was going up on the moors in the Toyota, and I kept freaking stopping, getting him out, putting him on the grass, and he had Dougie in there as well, and I put him on the grass, and I thought my dog box in the mule was a little bit small for him, but actually they can turn around in it, no problem at all. And Dougie absolutely loves it in there. He jumps in there like Trap 4 from Acne. I'm thinking of entering him to freaking Hove freaking greyhound racing. Imagine him on the outside freaking lane if he saw the rabbit. Jesus Christ. We could actually teach him to be a greyhound, couldn't we? Especially if there was jumps. Put jumps in there. Ever trained a Spironi? If so, what are they like? Back to that rare breeds, isn't it? And they're not that rare, but they are more of the Bracco Italianos are exactly the same. They are so slow at coming a bit before they mature. It's as simple as that. There's so many of them. It's like you get the flat coat retrievers 3 years before they start to mature up and they start to show their potential. 3 years. So there is hope for Dougie, Pluto. There is hope. But at the end of the day, I now take him to another stage of training. We've got young poults in the pen. We want them to go another few weeks before we put Dougie in there, because that's going to take him into another drive. We've got them in the pen. So we're not putting dogs in the pen who are pretty quick at the moment, because they'd catch the youngsters. And so we got a few weeks before we trim back the pen with the nettles in there, because you leave the nettles in there and that stops the buzzards getting the bloody poults, because the buzzards are bastards for that.
Eastbound Pheasant says, how long after a pistol would you use a launcher?
Launchers are quite noisy, so be careful with launchers. But if the dog's not showing no sign of problem with a pistol, once you've started firing it in your bag, then take it out of your bag and start firing it, and associate it with the retrieve to begin with. That means it's a positive, so the dog sees it as a positive. And then from there over to the dummy launcher. But I always fire a dummy launcher away from the dog when the dog's away from it to begin with, just to make sure. John Wilson, talking about dog boxes, because the Springer is sometimes reluctant to get in my box, but others, she's so excited she'll jump for a mile away. Any idea what might that be? Talking of dog boxes, the Springer is sometimes reluctant to get into my box, but others, she's so excited she jumped from a mile away. I don't know what you mean, John. Sorry, I don't know what you mean there. You've lost me. If she don't jump in the dog box, pick her up and put her in fast. Just pick her up by the scruff and put her in. She'll get in hell of a quick then next time. Trust me. Other times,
Other time she's so excited she'll jump from a mile away.
don't know. She's just you haven't told her off or anything in that situation. No, I don't know. No idea. Sorry, mate. But she'll get used to it. You haven't had it that long. Are you enjoying her, John? That's the important thing. Because, like I said, you had a month, and if you weren't happy, you could bring her back. You could bring her back. So, are you happy or are you not happy? Is your 100%? That's the way I like to see it. That's the way I like to see it. And I mean, $3,000 for a 7-year-old dog that's park trained. I mean, it's a freaking bargain, isn't it? I mean, you could have at least another 2 years out of her. I tell you what, you had a freaking bargain there, didn't you? With the price of these dogs, you could put her on that freaking Gumtree, couldn't you? Gumtree, £5,500, trained by Chris Upton, the one and only beater of dogs in the UK. Oh, I saved her. I rescued her. Hey, I rescued her from Chris Upton, the beater of dogs, down in sunny Cornwall. The freaking world's gone mad, isn't it? Hey, that little bitch, as you see when I showed you her, she absolutely adores me, and yet she's gone over to you. And isn't it funny how some dogs live in the moment and some dogs just go, yes, as long as you give me a good life, I'll love you as much as I love the last person, as long as you feed me and treat me decent. And that's what this is about. It's about treating these dogs in a nice manner, training them, getting the best out of them. Nobody wants to talk about my 95% fun-based training other than the people who follow me on a regular basis, because they know that Chris Upton gets the best out of the dogs, and he will take his time and rather lose money than push a dog just for the sake of it. Already sold my story to Daily Star. Chris Upton sells his beaten dogs. There you go. That's what people do in it. They get on the bandwagon. Ben will pay the 5K exactly. Lee Summers, is it once you finish training, she'll know game is over and going? Oh, I think he's talking about once you've been training, she doesn't want to get back in the car because she's enjoying it when she's out. I think that's what Lee's trying to say. Maybe that reason. Harley really misses you. There you go. I bet he doesn't. I bet he doesn't pine for me in the slightest. Do you know why? Because as long as you treat him the way I treated him, he'll love you just as much. And that's what it's about. Daily sport. That's it. Yeah. That silly witch from up in Scotland, she got hold of Katie Price, the one who the page 3 girl with Harvey and all that, and so she got hold of her and then she sent the story about me to Katie Price and said that I'm abusing her in Scotland and bullying her, and the way Harvey's been bullied. People need to know that these people are out there and they're terrible, and this is the shit that these people peddle. This is what they peddle, and the problem is, what right have you got? What? How can you fight back with these people? People spread rumors about people on the internet, and that's so easy, isn't it, for other people then get on the bandwagon? Do you not think that with as much views as I've got, you'd see comment after comment about, I went to Chris Upton, he beats dogs, he ruined my dog, he did this, he did that, my dog's shit scared. You don't see it. Why? It's not out there. That's why it's not out there. But can they make stories about it? Of course they can. Can they spread shit? Of course they can. And that's what they do. They got nothing better to do, some people, and that's the price you put when you put your head above the parapet and you're honest with people and you say it the way it is. And yet, how many minds have I changed over the years by showing discipline and showing that discipline works, and showing that use it sparingly, it works. You don't need to be a dictator. You don't need to be a bully. You don't need to go after somebody non-stop. At the end of the day, if they won't leave you alone and you want to give them shit, they got to put up with the shit. It's as simple as that. You have a right to defend yourself. You have a right to stand up and say it the way it is. And that's it. When you put your head above the parapet, that's what you put up with. Else, don't say nothing. He's like my shadow, Chris. He just wants to be with me. Completely different temperament than a cocker, isn't he, Peter? Completely different. He's from a pacey dog of Alan Chadwick's that I bred. Absolutely flying machine, right? put to a wonderful bitch that Alan and Jess has got and produced quality. And with quality, it's easy as long as you don't put problems into them. But so many people put problems into them. Yeah, Stephen Robinson headlines Chris Upton ate my dog like Freddie freaking
That's
Freddie Starr.
no, yeah. No, that's
It's like Elton John said, "Don't let the sun go down on me."
Eastbound Present said, what age should I start waterwork?
John Wilson says cockers are just want to be away from you, the stubborn little shits. Not always, John. No, cockers aren't tighter because they've got a different action. And if you watch the championship, cockers hunt a lot tighter than the springers do, but they're changing. They're changing. That's enough of that.
Eastbound Pheasant, what age should I start waterwork?
What age should I start waterwork? Well, in this time of year, I take the dogs in the water. This is a great time to take them in the water, starting off with shallow water you can walk through with your boots on, and then building it up. But in the summer's the best time to get the dogs in the water. Make it fun. If you got the retrieving, they love retrieving. Use your waterwork. That's another thing with Dougie in it. He didn't race out on the water and want to pick the retrieve. I had to go out there and wade out and get it. The Labrador loved it. He absolutely adored the retrieving. The Labrador loves retrieving, but he's not giving me the delivery cleanly. I don't want to start tidying that up at the moment because I've got to get that bond with him and change a few things in his head. Stephen Webb, Chris is changing. I think he's turning into a cocker man. Hey,
slowly, but getting there.
Slowly but surely. No, he's not. No, he's not. He's not.
You love him, really. Julianne Charter said, would you ever let your dog retrieve a shot crow, or is it a big no-no?
Hang on. So, John Wilson says, but in seriousness, she's a lovely bitch, not a dog. Settled in lovely with my young boy, and girlfriend loves them to bits. Hunts hard and is making my cocker even more confident. Well impressed, Chris. Thank you. That's exactly why I offered you that dog, John, because I've seen you put so much work into a little cocker. You're listening to me. You're not rushing it. Your cocker's turning into a little superstar. And I thought this dog will teach you so much, even though she's not trained to a what we call competition standard. She will teach you about hunting, and she will show you how she can bleed when she's hunting, and loves it. Love to see Chris with a pointer. Yeah, Paul Crocker. Yeah, you've been talking to Soul, haven't you? You've been talking to Soul, haven't you?
The one above.
The one above. Nah, he's going HBR next. There you go. Hey, I agree, Soul.
I thought it was a Brit.
Do you know what? I think I've got an urge for a pointer. I think I've got an urge for a pointer next. I think I want to open up on the moor and look like freaking Gone with the Wind. So you said there's a question up here somewhere, Lisa.
Yeah, no, it's Julianne Charters. She said, where is it? I've lost it.
See the secretary in the background, everyone.
Well, it was a little way back. Where are you? Oh, yeah.
What do you mean, fat boys don't dance, Andy Stead, you cheeky sod?
Julianne Charters, would you ever let your dog retrieve a shot crow, or is it a big no-no?
You can retrieve shot crows, but shoot it, go out to it, make sure it's dead, because they can peck the frigging eyes out of a dog, no problem at all. They can, nasty little bastards they are. So as a warm retrieve, cold retrieve, yeah, dogs can do that, but I never shoot a crow and just send the dog, because that crows, they can be vicious. Chris Duval, wash your mouth out. Wash your mouth out. Paul Crocker, go on Upton. 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 I've been on there long enough now. Come on. Jonathan, I'd love to see you with a pointer, because that's going to be my next pup. There you go, look. There you go, eh? Hey. Like I was saying the other week on Patreon, I think I was saying it on there. The one thing you don't want to be doing is getting yourself, Paul Crock, I'm dyslexic. So am I. I can spell my name backwards. So Anyway, you've had 1 hour and 9 minutes. We've had a good turnout. Thanks for tuning in, and bollocks to you all. And we were going to do a competition, and so we will do the competition now. It's going to be very quick. Jules said he's going to give a squirrel skin to anybody who wins the competition, and he will send it to you himself. So this is the question. Jules was showing you how to prepare a squirrel, and he used a white powder, not up his nose. He may have been using white powder up his nose. Oh, Michael from look at that. That was fast as lightning. You got it, boy. You got it. You got it. Well done. Well done. That was quick. Right. So the winner is Michael McLaughlin from Ireland. Have you not had a squirrel skin? Did we not send you one? But anyway, you've won a squirrel skin. And if you send me your details, you're in private, laugh out loud. If you send me details in private, baking soda, John Wilson. Yeah, you didn't listen, did you? You didn't watch it. So, congratulations.
He's still going, Ben.
Yeah, Ben's still in the background ringing. Never mind, Ben. We'll perhaps make you famous. Don't worry. Go to bed, Ben. It's your bedtime. It's 9 o'clock. Yeah. Yeah, he has. Let's do a second one. Oh, no, he'd have to tell me himself. But you have one anyway. So, yeah, so if you do send me your details, you want the squirrel skin sent to you, Jules will send you the squirrel skin. So congratulations. I just thought we'd stick that one in at the end just to have a laugh, because I knew you were all writing bollocks at that point. But that was quick. That was quick. I tell you, the Irishman did you there, everyone. He was quick as lightning. Can I give an Irish? Okay, so bollocks to you all. Chris Upton signing off. I got to deal with Ben now. How do you press delete? Cheers, everyone. Bollocks, and have fun. Be safe. Right. Now,